It is snow-covered grounds over here next to this exposed vernal pool. This is our first herp of 2021. There we go. My lifer eastern ribbon snake. This is really, really exciting. This is a pure diploid blue spotted salamander. That's a spotted. You think the night's gonna be over, but it's almost midnight and they're still freaking moving. I'm starting to lose count of how many spotted turtles that we're seeing. There is a Blandings turtle 2 feet away from me at the edge of this vernal pool right here. What I'm holding right now is my first eastern hognose snake of 2021. Ooh, our first snake of the day, everyone. We got ourselves a little ringneck snake. Oh, we got a 5-line skink buried right here, and it just took off. These things are so incredibly fast, and it's just amazing how many I've seen down here. You have to put in 0 effort to find a brown anole here in southwestern Florida. Well, that's always fun. Well, we did it. We took a little bit, but we caught a green anole. This is my lifer cottonmouth. I believe this is a Florida cottonmouth, and he's just posing right over here for us. Searching for reptiles and amphibians has become one of my favorite pastimes over the past couple of years, and that was definitely the case in 2021. From the mild winter days to the heat of the summer months, I spent countless hours searching for lizards, turtles, snakes, salamanders, frogs, and toads. While most of my field herping escapades have taken place in the northeastern US, during 2021 I moved to southeastern Georgia and started finding some of the iconic herps of the South. For this video, I wanted to showcase my top 10 field herping moments of 2021. Narrowing down my encounters to 10 entries was very difficult, but I truly felt that these specific moments truly stood out above the rest. So enough of the anticipation, and let's review my top 10 herping moments of 2021. One of the biggest surprises of 2021 was how many eastern milk snakes and black racers I found while actually searching for other snakes. Even though I couldn't find my targets most of the time, I was never disappointed because these other 2 snakes always made up for it. Because of this, I had to include both snakes as one entry on my top 10 herping moments list. 2021 rewarded me with a total of 11 individual eastern milk snake sightings, several of which were very memorable. These included this one that I flipped underneath a door. Ooh, look at what we got! A milk snake, everybody! One that we found in a rolled up rug. This baby milk snake that was found under the seat of a car. A stunning individual with an 8-note pattern on its head. And another individual that had no pattern whatsoever on its head. But the most memorable milk snake encounter of 2021 was flipping these 2 underneath the same mattress. The contrast in coloration and pattern between these 2 was a perfect representation of the variation exhibited by eastern milk snakes. Also seeing them constantly bite at each other was also quite interesting. Almost every time I found a milk snake, a black racer was right around the corner. These highly alert snakes are incredibly fascinating to me, and several that I found in 2021 were quite large. The most memorable racer moment of 2021 was in early June, when my friends and I found 6 in one afternoon of searching. We started by finding this docile one under some debris who posed nicely for several minutes. Then we found a feisty one deep in shed out in the open. And just a short distance away from that one, we found 2 more, but were only able to photograph one that was hanging around a pile of stones. And at the end of the day, we found 2 more racers that were deep in shed in an open field. One was quite calm, almost like a domesticated snake, while the other was, well... Overall, eastern milk snakes and black racers were a pleasant surprise in 2021 and made what could have been many skunk field outings much more eventful. On an afternoon in early June, I was exploring coastal Massachusetts, searching for a snake that I've never seen before. While flipping rocks, I came across a stunning eastern box turtle sheltering in an old New England stone wall. This was the first time that I had ever seen a turtle utilizing a stone wall, and after filming her on time-lapse, she had no intentions on leaving the safety of her rocky fortress. After filming this box turtle for some time, I was shocked to see another box turtle using the same stone wall just several feet away. This was the first time ever that I had found 2 box turtles in the same day, let alone so close together. I quickly forgot about the snake I was searching for and was satisfied with seeing these 2 turtles. I would go on to find a few more box turtles in 2021, but without a doubt, the most memorable box turtle encounter of 2021 was these 2 that I found chilling in a stone wall. Alright everyone, with this... Over the past couple of years, I've had dozens of run-ins with the iconic spotted turtle. Though I did not search for them as frequently compared to years past, 2021 was still a banger for finding this small chelonian, including one day where we found 30 individuals. But the most memorable spotted turtle encounter I had in 2021 was actually the day I saw the fewest individuals. In fact, it was just 1 turtle, but it was where it was found that made the experience so iconic. While hiking with a friend, we found this male spotted turtle on the side of the trail several hundred feet above a marshy pond. We were both stunned to see this turtle so far above the wetland, and impressed that it made the treacherous climb toward the trail we were hiking on. But after exploring the surrounding area, we soon discovered that the spotted turtle was actually heading in the direction of a vernal pool on top of the hill. After moving him to the side of the pool, the spotted turtle immediately moved towards the water and seemed pretty content under the surface. Hopefully, he was able to forage on amphibians and invertebrates on top of this rocky hill. In late July, I visited the city of Boston to search for the only lizard that can be found in the state of Massachusetts, the Italian wall lizard. As the name suggests, Italian wall lizards are native to the Italian peninsula, but since the 1960s they have been introduced to other parts of Europe and North America via the pet trade. For those of you that live in the southeastern US, it may come as a surprise that only 1 lizard, the 5-lined skink, is native to the New England region. However, five-line skinks do not occur in Massachusetts, so the Italian wall lizard, despite being invasive, is the only extant lizard in the Bay State. Wall lizards were discovered in Boston several years ago, and ever since hearing about them at a conference, I had been eager to search for them for some time. While visiting Boston on this rainy, humid afternoon, I was fortunate to find 3 individuals just in a couple of hours of exploring. With the summer heat, these lizards were very skittish, and 2 took off before I was able to photograph them. However, I was able to film 1 for several minutes. Even though they are invasive, I still appreciate the Italian wall lizard as the only lizard that lives in my home state. With Illinois representing the southern extent of their range, the Blandings turtle is endemic to the northern U.S. and southern Canada. This species is threatened throughout their range, including in New England, where I've seen them in the wild on a couple of occasions. I was first introduced to the Blandings turtle back in high school, when my classmates and I had started 70 individuals during my sophomore year. However, I never found one on my own in the wild until April of 2020, when we found this 3-legged male basking on the edge of a vernal pool. In 2021, I would find this same male along with 4 other individuals during one visit in early April. With temperatures unnaturally high in the upper 70s, these Blandings turtles were definitely enjoying basking on this warm spring day. I hope to talk more about the Blandings turtle in a more comprehensive video, but finding these 5 individuals back in April was for sure one of my most memorable herping moments of 2021. I spent a weekend in early October visiting the Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge located in southeastern Georgia. My goal of this trip was to find iconic southern herps that I never got the opportunity to see while growing up in the north. In 2 days, I found 13 different species, including 7 lifers. The biggest highlight of the trip was finding my ultimate target and lifer, cottonmouth. Despite this being such a ubiquitous species of the southeastern U.S., I found it so rewarding to finally see such an iconic species with my own eyes. Another unexpected highlight was finding 2 eastern chicken turtles, including one on the side of a busy road. I also found my lifer eastern fence lizard and dozens of alligators, including several babies and a massive 8+ footer just chilling on the side of the road. Living just over an hour away, I plan on visiting Okefenokee multiple times in 2022 and hope to find even more endemic herps of the South. During August, my family and I spent a week in southwestern Florida and were surrounded by wildlife that I never got the opportunity to see. Not knowing at the time that I would be moving to the south, my goal was to film and photograph as many herps as possible, but the number one target was to document a gopher tortoise. While I had seen this species before, I never got the chance to actually photograph one. After failing to find one tortoise during the first half of the trip, mainly because of rainy weather, I finally got to experience one of my most memorable herping moments of 2021 by finding 6 gopher tortoises in just one morning at the end of our vacation. Half of the tortoises were foraging on the surface, while the rest were in their burrows, curious as to the meaning of my presence. It was only fitting that I found another gopher tortoise foraging on the side of the road on her way back to the airport. I consider myself fortunate to work with gopher tortoises on a daily basis and live in an area where they are abundant. But back in August, I was starstruck to finally be up close with such a unique and important species endemic to the southeastern United States. If I had to pick my favorite snake, the eastern hognose would be number one on my list. Since 2019, I estimate that I've put in over 50 hours of searching for this elusive colubrid, and most days resulted in me wandering aimlessly through pine barren forest only for them to end like this. Well, this is going to be a different video. This one's going to be predicated on failure. And you've spent a good part of your summer or a year trying to find this one thing and you haven't been able to find it yet. Well, that's the case with me throughout the summer of 2020, and I guess going back to the fall of 2019, I've been searching for a very particular snake called the eastern hognose, and I don't have a single photo of one to show you what it looks like, so I would say Google it. It's September. I've been actively searching since June, and my attempts, I've probably gone out now at least 10 times, and today was roughly 3 to 4 hours of searching I did today. No luck. So the point of all this is sometimes a lot of times when you're going out and you're looking for stuff in wildlife, you don't always find what you're looking for, and sometimes you don't find anything at all. Yeah, hopefully in the next couple months I'll find a hognose snake and you can actually see what it looks like without having to Google it. But yeah, that's just a frustration video I made. Stay safe, y'all. Have a good day. However, I've managed to find hognose snakes on a few occasions, including 3 in late September of 2020, which is one of my top 3 herping moments of that year. In 2021, I managed to find just 2 eastern hognose snakes. One was on May 3rd and another on July 15th, which I ranked number 3 on this year's herping moments list. With temperatures in the 90s while searching in the late afternoon on July 15th, I somehow managed to find this gorgeous specimen who was dark brown in color with olive and gray markings. Even though his face appeared to have some type of injury that was affecting his vocalizations, finally finding another hognose snake since early May, despite multiple days searching in between, was extremely rewarding. The time of year and weather during this observation, which is not ideal for hognose snakes, made this moment even more memorable. I plan on discussing all my hognose encounters more in depth as part of a more comprehensive video on this fascinating species, but I sure as hell cannot leave this observation out of this video. So we just concluded what perhaps was my greatest herping night ever. Back in early spring, one of my college professors, a friend, and myself ventured out to look for the elusive Jefferson Salamander. This took place just a couple nights after we found 3 pure diploid blue-spotted salamanders along with several 4-toed salamanders, so I was confident that we would find at least one Jefferson. Not to mention that 10 days earlier, I found 2 Jeffersons in the spot that we were searching this night. Well, the night of March 28th would go down as not just one of my most memorable herping moments of 2021, but probably one of my most memorable moments to date. In 3 hours of searching, we found approximately 1,000 amphibians between road cruising and searching along the edge of a couple of vernal pools. The action was non-stop, as we were literally finding multiple frogs, toads, and salamanders every minute. The vocalizations you hear and the footage you see does not fully capture the magnitude of the amphibian abundance we experienced. The vernal pools were filled with hundreds of wood frogs and spotted salamanders crawling underneath the water's surface. In the surrounding forests and roads, spotted salamanders, wood frogs, spring peepers, and American toads were also everywhere. To put the icing on the cake, we ended the night with around 20 Jefferson salamanders, which more than exceeded my expectations. Explosive amphibian breeding in the northeastern U.S. is truly a sight to behold and must be experienced in person to truly appreciate the magnitude of this natural spectacle. It's been what a night. So with such an awe-inspiring moment, what could possibly trump this as number 1 on my top 10 herping moments of 2021? Here's another one right next to it. Definitely a hybrid. You can see right here, trying to go back into the, much smaller than the other one. October 3rd, 2020 was a day that I will never forget as I found my lifer Crotalus horridus. In the northeastern US, encountering a timber rattlesnake had always felt like a dream to me, so when I finally found the iconic black tail draped over a rock with a keratin rattle, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. In 2021, I was extremely fortunate to find more timber rattlesnakes during spring emergence. The impressive size of some of these specimens was just unbelievable, as I had never seen a snake that large before. After spring egress had passed, I was completely satisfied if I would not find another timber for the rest of the year. It's amazing how that would be so far from the truth. On August 18th, I ventured to an area that I had never been to before to search for snakes that I had never seen. When I arrived at the site, I was shocked to find several timbers basking around a rookery. I ended up photographing these pit vipers for some time before most retreated underneath the rookery. Before I continued my search for the other snakes, I left a GoPro at the rookery running on time-lapse to capture any interesting footage of the rattlesnakes. When I returned to collect my camera, I witnessed 4 rattlesnakes emerge back to back from underneath the rookery, and 3 would join another rattlesnake on top of the rookery to bask. As I continued to film the snakes, I was amazed and enjoyed seeing how social they were while interacting with each other. As the afternoon turned to evening and the snakes retreated for a final time, I headed home, not caring at all that I failed to find my targets, because I was so happy cherishing the memory of what I had just witnessed. Being able to see and film the social behaviors of such a charismatic and imperiled snake for an entire afternoon while being away from the presence of any other human being truly stood alone as my most memorable herping moment of 2021. As we begin a new year, I cannot help but to reflect on the reptiles and amphibians I saw in 2021. So many fond memories were made between me wandering in nature alone to group outings with people who shared the same appreciation and obsession of these prehistoric ectothermic animals. With that said, I am super optimistic and excited for what 2022 has in line for me. Now living in the Southeast, I share my backyard with so many herps that I have never even seen before. I hope to find most of these species and share these finds and other herping moments with you this year. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for your support and interest. Until next time.